Okay, I've gone ahead and laid out for a groove, and I've done some preparation to it already just to alleviate how much work the cutter actually has to do. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start this way and come towards the end here and kind of clear out this material first. Now I'm not taking off very much, I'm just 32nd of an inch or so, maybe even less than that. And just nibbling away little by little, not trying to go too quick with it. So okay, so once I've got that, then I'm going to start going into the groove like this, being careful that when I get to this edge here to kind of ease up a little bit on the pressure, because I'm afraid that if I just go gung-ho at it, I'm going to end up just blasting right through that and taking a big old chunk right out of that. And that's not the goal here. I want to be able to create a groove in a controlled fashion. Listen to me like I'm some sort of expert now, right? Okay, so at any rate, I'm just trying to be as controlled as I can with this operation. Let me readjust my material here. It's kind of sinking down into my vise. So then let's see if that had any, yeah. But you know, the whole point here is to be able to create a controlled depth. So let's wrap on the cutter a little bit here. That advances it a little bit. And again, I'm going to start coming in this direction. It's not doing too bad. I wish that I had a better camera so that I could actually give you a closer look at this. I apologize, but times being what they are, just don't have the money. So alright, so now I can turn it around and go into the groove. Now I don't know if this is the right way to do this or not, but what I'm doing is I'm plowing out the middle first, and then I'm kind of working the edges a little bit. Once I get the center plowed out, come back and work these edges a little bit, and hopefully I won't catch the grain of the wood. If the tool, if the cutter grabs the grain of that wood, it can do a pretty bad tear out. And so I'll advance this just a little bit more. Come back this way first. So the cutter is not cutting too bad. I'm pretty happy with the way that the cutter turned out and how it's cutting. That cutter took probably an hour to grind and hone. So Now you can see how that grain is starting to lift up there a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to relieve this back here a little bit more. And see if I can avoid tearing out this grain here. I think putting those reliefs in there really helps. It's just something you got to take your time with. Just at least that's what I'm kind of noticing here, is that you just can't. And maybe being able to go all gung-ho comes with experience, but with experience I don't have just yet. So at any rate, that's kind of how it works. And I got some, suppose I could probably go back in there with a hand chisel maybe and clean that up a little bit more. But for what it does, it doesn't do too bad. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I do want to say one more thing that I may not have touched on before, and that is, because the tool is radiused right here, okay, this inside radius, when this relief is being created, you've got to make sure to get down, at least my experience was that I had to get down in here with a chisel and some files and work this corner right here. I don't know if you see it. Work this corner right here so that that inside radius of the chisel or the plane iron can recess down inside there and allow it to sit flush with the bottom of the plane. So that's what I did. I don't know if that's right, wrong, indifferent, whatever. But at any rate, that's the router plane, and all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. I'm going to try to make another short little video on how to do well, I don't know, I've probably taken up too much of your time already running my mouth about this project, but at any rate, that is the router plane, my take on it. So thanks for watching, appreciate your time. Questions, comments, whatever, likes, dislikes, do me a favor and subscribe on my YouTube channel. You'll also find me on Lumberjocks. Well, that's about as much self-promotion as I'm going to do right now. So, see you later.